Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and today we have four great decks for you, including our main deck, which is going to be a deck that I think can finally make a long-term deck, the Thor deck. Meta, we're going to need a larger sample, but it's already climbed to 8 on the Infinite Leaderboard. This is a legitimately extremely powerful list that we're going to show you. We're, however, going to kick today off with a list that Fazzer climbed 3,000 spots on the Infinite Leaderboard with, getting all the way into the right around the top 1,000 with this list, which means that this is facing top competition and still performing. Before we talk much about this list, though, I just want to let you know we got a bunch of news on snapbacks. They are coming April 29th. At the end of the video, instead of questions of the day, we're going to actually focus on that information. We're going to talk about what we know about it and give you an update. So that's going to be at the end of this video. So if you're looking for more information on that, please just make sure you stay tuned. All right, so for this deck, first you can find Fazzer on Twitter. He used to stream, but he had a baby. So he's on twitter.com/Fazzer_snap. This deck needs Aranya and Scream. Cannonball can be Arrow. Red Wing can be Vulture, but Red Wing is also coming in a bundle. Expect a bundle guide with every data mined bundle featuring Series 4 and 5 card relatively soon. And Madam Web can be Cloak. Madam Web, we have some news about how you could acquire Madam Web and Aranya at the end of this video as well. All right, so Fazzer Scream 2099 list. Let's go through. It's so cool to say Scream 2099 because that used to mean a Doom 2099 list, while here for Fazzer, it means Spider-Man 2099. I really like that. So you have move enablers, right? Your main move enablers that are smaller, that aren't your end game, are Aranya, Ghost Spider, and Madam Web. What you're basically trying to do with them is make a good size Human Torch or Dagger. Generally speaking, you want to use those on those cards early, and you're trying to put enough power out with that Human Torch and Dagger so that your end game Heimdall is capable of winning you the game. If your opponent doesn't have Shang-Chi, if you get these cards on Madam Web, they're extraordinarily strong, and you should be able to get a lane win out of one or both of them. That basically covers the first four cards, right? All right, so from there we have Scream. Scream has her own mini package in this list. We're not running a million Scream cards, but we are running just enough Scream cards to make sure that we can win that way. Scream remains a snap condition. She's so powerful, partially because she wins so many games and she's so disruptive, but also like it's legitimate that part of Scream's power is just that you don't need to dedicate everything to her. You can do other things in the deck and still have a powerful Scream list. So here for Scream, we have Spider-Man, a nice, simple 2-cost mover. So if you get Scream down early, you can then play like a Polaris, then you can go like Spider-Man and Madam Web, and that's still enough turns if you played Aranya on one to like Aranya, that Human Torch with Ghost Spider, that Dagger with Ghost Spider, and get it going to get ready for Heimdall, which is really, really cool. So Spider-Man, Polaris, and Cannonball are your little Scream package. Those would technically, remember, one move makes Scream a fundamentally a 2/6 because she's taking 2 off the opposing side of the board and putting 2 on her side of the board. So 2 moves makes her a 2/10, which just means play Spider-Man and Polaris. But you also have Cannonball, which can either destroy the damn card, giving Scream an extra 4 power, or take off that whole power from the game. So all three of those things work really well together. Red Wing is very strong in lists like this. I think Red Wing is one of the like most slept upon cards in Marvel Snap. I have a Red Wing deck called from our friend Thursday. That's been one of my best decks for the past several seasons. I love Red Wing. I think it's a really good card, and I was ready to hate it because it's not the bounce card that was promised. But Red Wing is really good. So, what you're fundamentally trying to do here is you're using Red Wing to cheat out one of your 3 bigger cards, and that's relatively easy to do, right? Because everything else is so cheap in this list. You use Red Wing, and all of a sudden you get a free Cannonball, which really disrupts the opponent, gives you that screen buff, can destroy what they're doing. You can also use a Red Wing to get a free Spider-Man 2099. Do yourself a favor, however, if you're doing that, make sure that your Spider-Man 2099 is going to land right or mid so that you can Heimdall it later. Or it can land on Madam Web, right? Like if you put Red Wing on Madam Web and then you throw it to the right or left or who cares, and then that becomes a 2099, you've now got that kill. That kill could be a rock or it could be the most important powerful card in the game. There's no real way to know it, but at 9 power, it's still pretty decent. There's at least some chance, some argument that Vulture is just going to end up better than 2099 in this list. But 2099 is real cool, so it doesn't make me very sad for it to be here. Complete honesty. And then Heimdall is your end game play. If you've played largely Scream game plan, there's a really good chance that they're not going to be ready for that Heimdall. You should be able to win with it. And sometimes there's just nothing they can do about a Heimdall, right? Like a Human Torch gets so big, a Dagger gets so big that it just wins the game. 2099 removes an important card from their board. And you could always end the game with Cannonball just fine, especially if your opponent has clogged it all. So this is plus 3k to plus 3k collection, not collection level, whatever it's called. Plus 3k rank into the top 1k. This is turn 1 Aranya. Turn 2, you want Scream or Web. It's going to depend what's in your hand. If you have the whole Scream package, feel free to go Scream. If you have the whole Move package, feel free to go Web. Uh, either of those two are better than the double move Torch. You can go Aranya, Torch into Ghost Spider just fine. Make sure your torch doesn't land on the left if humanly possible, because you are going to want to Heimdall later. If you go Aranya move torch, you now have a first move, your torch becomes 8, right? And then your torch is going to get first move your torch becomes 4, then it's going to go to 5 to 10, so you have a 10 power torch, you move it one more time, you're at a 20. Seems pretty good. If Scream, you're going to Polaris on 3, Red Wing on Madam Web is fine. You can also drop Dagger or do some torch move shenanigans here. Turn 4 is generally speaking a 2+2. You have a lot of good 2s. This is a good time to get down the other of Scream or Web, along with Spider-Man. You can do lots of other things. You can end up playing like the Polaris plus a Ghost Spider here if you played Torch, for example. All of that is really strong and really consistent. Turn 5, you're getting down to 3+2, and this is again a reasonable turn to make sure that you move that Red Wing if you got it on that. If you got it on that name of card escapes. It's a decent to move Red Wing if you got it down on that Madam Web. You can also go with just dropping 2099 or even playing Cannonball if you think it's going to help. Turn 6, you want Heimdall or Cannonball, and if you can move Red Wing, please remember to do so. Cool list. Props to our friend Fazer. He's awesome, and he's climbing like crazy. First time in quite a while he's had time to climb post Infinite, and you love to see it. Before we get to the deck of the day, please hit that sub button, a like, and a comment. It would mean the absolute world to us as we continue our climb to 20,000. We are like only a few hundred away, and your sub would help us get there. So please hit that sub, like, and comment. We'll give you 7 days a week Marvel Snap video. We haven't missed a day in over 2 years. It's actually a day or two after the anniversary of when my appendix freaking tried to burst, and I had to go for emergency surgery. And guess what? We still didn't miss a day on this channel. Make sure you're here for the most consistent, top-notch Marvel Snap content ever. In addition, if you'd like to win the season pass, today's season, this is Captain Carter, who's not great, but I fully expect her to be buffed. I'm going to be honest. I think she's exactly weak enough that they will buff her. I don't know how they're going to buff her. That's a big question. But I don't expect it in the OTA today, for which we will have a second video. But you can get a Captain Carter for free. Free is a great amount to pay for a card that we're not sure is very good, especially. So hit that sub, hit that like, and then later on this video, I'll tell you what comment to make. That comment will enter you to win a Captain Carter. We are also kicking off a major tournament on April 21st. This tournament has $500 in prizes. It is sponsored by topdeck.gg. It is one of the best tournament softwares around, so please make sure you go check out topdeck.gg. If you're interested in running any kind of tournament for any card game, whether it's Marvel Snap, whether it's Magic, whether it's Hearthstone, anything. But for our tournament, all you have to do is be a Patreon at all. Even the $2 tier enters you in the tournament, and you have a chance to win up to $500. It's usually a couple hundred people that play. Some real top Marvel Snap players, your chance to play against top creators. Make sure you do come check it out, please. Thanks to Gunny T, of course, for running these tournaments. Cool logo, Gunny. All right, next up we have the Emma Thor God of Tech. This is from our friend Emma, who has just like this isn't brain surgery, right? Like this isn't a deck we've never seen, but this sort of cuts a lot of the bullshit that these decks runs. People are trying to run misery and they're trying to do all these combo things with the list. This list says I've got this little bit of way to get extra power. I've got every control piece in the game, and I've like scalers and control cards, right? Scalers and control cards are the key to a million mid-range Marvel Snap decks. We've got Thor and Beta Ray Bill as scalers. Are we trying to double scale them? No. If you've got a 310, you're happy. If you've got a 412, you're happy. We're not trying to like go way over the top. But we've also got Sam, who's a 2/8. That's a really solid scaler. We've got Werewolf, who should be able to fairly often be a 311, 315, 317. That's in an unpredictable spot. So you've got fundamentally what amounts to 4 scalers that can help us win a lane. In addition to win the lane, what we're otherwise trying to really work out here is how do we do that? How do we win other lanes? Well, how about if we don't let opponents do anything they want to? They want to play all their cards early and do extra stuff? Mobius says no, thank you. They want to try and scale above us and go really, really tall? Well, we've got Shadow King or Shang-Chi. Oh, it's one of those ongoing things, and I don't want to deal with Mr. Iron Man. Enchantress is there. Very, very cool stuff. You can find the creatives list on Twitter at _Emma_BN. Emma does really, really great graphics for their decks. So if you're interested in that, please do go check out Emma's Twitter. Although, I'm gonna be honest, Twitter sucks and you probably shouldn't be on it very much. But if you already have it, you might as well go check out our friend Emma. This deck needs Eitri, Bill, and Werewolf. Eitri is especially important because sometimes you're going to need to play a tech card over Jane on turn 5, and sometimes you're going to want to play Werewolf over a second Thor, and then you only have one hammer in the deck, which means Eitri does the job for you. So keep that in mind. Eitri is very important here. He is a Series 4, which is going to be getting significantly cheaper, which again we will talk about later in this video. Beta Ray Bill is another Series 4 who has a bundle, I believe, that is still in the shop. That bundle is solid value. Nothing amazing, but solid value. And then, of course, there's Werewolf by Night, who is, I think, also a Series 4 now. Jeez, this is not the most expensive deck, huh? Werewolf by Night, who's also just, again, a lot of power. Sam and Kate can be Nico, Mirage, Iceman, and Ham. You just want cheap movers in the place of them if you don't have the scalers to really pump up that werewolf. Nico, in particular, if you happen to have Nico, is very good with Thor's hammers. So King Eitri is basically the I don't need to play Jane Foster if I don't want to card. As long as you played either Thor, you just trigger Eitri and immediately get that hammer. Perfectly simple, perfectly effective. Zabu is insanely important in the whole freaking metagame. Zabu is one of the best cards right now. Being able to make Shang-Chi, Beta Ray Bill, and Enchantress cheaper is huge, right? You don't see Thor and you don't see Werewolf, but you do see a 3-cost Beta Ray. Your problems are solved. Everything comes together. Everything works. Zabu is amazing. The best card you could possibly see on turn 1. We'll take the tech cards later. Kate Bishop has one real use here, right? Like her being on reveal is nice, but the other really cool thing that Kate Bishop does in this deck is she gives you, generally speaking, at least one extra on reveal on the cheap for Werewolf, which can be incredibly powerful. That's basically it, but it's more than enough to run the card in this list. Sam Wilson is, again, a 2/8. It's just like if you can run a 2/8 in your list, you should run a 2/8 in your list. There's not another generic 2 that comes close to that stats. Plus, his shield is just really nice to have as an extra option, an extra way to like protect a werewolf from Red Guardian, for example. From there, we have Mobius and Mobius. Again, we'll take the tech cards at the end. Werewolf by Night is really, really big in this list. I don't know how else to put it. The hammers being free, being able to drop a late game Zabu, a late game Arrow, and then play like a Shangra Enchantress is just crazy power. There are games where you go Hammer, Shangra Enchantress, and Shadow King, and then like your werewolf has gotten plus Hammer, Shadow King, Shang, plus 6 power just on that turn. So it's a 3/9 just on that turn, but you probably triggered at least once before then, right? So we've got 3/11, 3/13, game-winningly strong power, and you're taking tons of power off the opponent boards, and you're scaling up another one of your cards. Werewolf is like, and this is a Thor's deck, but Werewolf feels like the key card, at least to me. Um, Thor and Beta Ray Bill are just some nice cheap scaling power that they give you zeros. Really works great with Werewolf, so that's why they're here. That's why this combination of cards. And Jane Foster gives you those hammers. She doesn't really give you anything else in this list, but hey, that's totally fine. She's a 5/9, so she's still really good stats. Shang-Chi proof and can help you. And because so many of your cards are scalers, and because Werewolf can move, it's reasonably often to throw Prio, which is important for Shadow King, Shang, and Enchantress. Shadow King, Shang, and Enchantress are your way to take opposing power off the board, which is very important. Mobius is different though. Mobius is your way to keep power off the board. So if your opponent's trying to do swarm things and you can play that Mobius around turn 5, you could have snapped them and then they're like getting ready to do all their combos, and those combos just don't work if you played Mobius. It's crazy strong. So that's one way to do it as far as Mobius goes. If your opponent's playing negative and they snap you, they play Ravonna and snap, and you're like, all right, Mobius. There's just a million different things that Mobius shuts down that way. Really, really, really cool combination of cards. I'm going to want to see this get a bigger sample because I think this might be it. This might be the meta deck for this. So this peaked at rank 8 and is finally meta. Emma has since tanked their rating to like the 30s. Not with this deck though. Emma was testing a lot of Kahhori stuff and trying to make Kahhori work. So we're going to talk Kahhori in a minute, by the way. So Kahhori is our next deck. But for the time being, Emma hit rank 8 with this and then played a bunch of Kahhori and tanked that out. But rank 8 is intensely difficult. So huge props to Emma. Turn 1, you want Zabu over Eitri. Turn 2, Sam over Kate. Turn 3, you go Thor, Bill, or Werewolf. Generally speaking, I will play Werewolf if I can avoid playing Jane, right? I'm fine to avoid playing Jane. I will go like um Werewolf then Bill, right? And just be totally fine. Turn 4 is the same as 3, but you add a 1, and again, Werewolf is pretty important to get out. Um, Turn 5, Jane or Thor, Wolf, and Kate. Totally fine to play. Or Mobius and Kate, etc. Then we go turn 6. We want to move the wolf, play the hammers, use Shadow King, Shang, Enchantress to win. Super cool list. Props to Emma for coming back to this in what I think is actually the right time and the right metaphor. Everything seems to go really, really well for this currently right now. There's a lot of ongoing nonsense that this just turns off. There's a lot of, oh my god, I'm just going to scale up and you can Shang that away. This is just really, there's like a lot of Shang in the meta and they're going to try and get your cards. But your Thor and Beta Ray Bill and Werewolf aren't big enough until it's time. Super cool list. Give it a try. I think you'll be impressed. Come check out a stream. I should be streaming the recording of the Snap Judgments podcast tonight with Unfit Parrot and DeCarlo at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. So please, please, please come check it out at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Our season pass question is real simple. There's an OTA later today. We'll have a video out for it. What are your hopes? The obvious candidates for change are Bullseye, Sam Wilson. Bullseye, Sam Wilson. There's a third one I'm forgetting. Rocket and Groot. Uh, a further change to Iron Patriot. Potentially something like Galacta, potentially some Thanos change, uh, potentially Scream. So there's a lot of potential options. Maybe you want none of those change. Maybe you want all those change. What is your hope for the OTA? And if the OTAs come out since you've seen this, comment on that video. Because I will be choosing a comment. If this video ends up carrying the season pass, it will be a comment from before the OTA release. Comments from after the OTA release will be on the OTA video. Get it? Cool. All right, so I got top player thoughts for Kahhori, and I got a few like right as I was recording. Sorry, friends, that if you didn't make it. Zenade, who finished number 11 last season, says not a card I want to play on my deck. Helps decks that need to get taller if they don't high roll, but not a card you build your game plan around. CHZ, who's in the top 20, says a bit underwhelmed. Probably haven't seen the right list using her just yet. Top player and Marvel Snap fan writer Jimmy Dickens says she's okay. I mean, I think she's just plainly a Gwenpool type card for Victoria hand decks, inconsistent but can come in clutch. Our friend Toxic Soul King, one of my favorite people, says prob a fine card, just having a hard time because other battle pass cards we had recently. So basically, this doesn't work super well because it's yet another 4, and we're still trying to make Captain Carter work. Sko Denim, the head writer at SnapFan, says she's not a bad card, but she can't compete with Gwenpool and Galacta. No cube equity, playing her out early, but not strong enough to be a finisher. Ika says not niche enough to be made for specific decks, but not generic enough to be played over other forecasts. Worm says she's good solid stats, but feels like a slightly worse Gwenpool and definitely worse than Galacta, which means she'll be considered mid. I think Roram is exactly where my take is right now. Salty says mid for a 4-drop, felt decent in the V hand list. I got Derek to answer, who's currently number 2, right before I recorded. Like literally, I didn't have time to write it. But Derek said only place that felt good was Thanos. If you want the Thanos list, check yesterday's video. So Jocko, who's in the top 10, has been top 2 several times, says she's terrible. The usual Safety Blade deck card. So it's a card you run if you're like running your fill the board, what's his name? Kitty Pride, Hope Summer style decks. That's what he's saying here. And then Blue Tears says, who just blah, blah, blah. Blue Tears, who's a dominant tournament and top 100 players, says she seems niche, but in these she feels very good in Victoria Hand and Thanos. So Victoria Hand and Thanos are where people actually like her. I also like her in Agamotto. Her win rate in Agamotto is really good at top infinite and like 40%. At top 10 infinite, it's like really good. It's like a 60% win rate. And at top 50% infinite, it's like a 40% win rate. So there's some kind of disconnect here. I'm going to have to go test that deck more before I can give any kind of recommendation for it. So I will do that and get back to you. But for the time being, she is good if you want to play Victoria Hand. She is good in Thanos, but she is required for absolutely nothing. She feels like a prime candidate to be a 4/7 in my head. All right. Cam Best had a lot of success with her in this Victoria Hand list. There is a more ongoing version, but I think this is more likely to stand the test of time because this is just a fairly standard good stuff list. We knew this list was good. I believe Derek originally made it. Yeah, Derek made the very, very original version of this, where like coming up with this combination of cards with Misery and Victoria Hand. There was an anti-venom in it at that time. And then Husky Puppies had an updated version, and now Cam Best has this really great version. I think that this is a very strong list. I don't think this is necessarily a meta list, but I do think this is the best thing we found outside of Thanos, which is insanely strong right now, no matter what. You can find Cam streaming with a video on this from yesterday if you're interested at youtube.com/CamBestInASnap. He did an amazing job explaining this list, so if you're curious, go check it out. I'm going to do my best too. This deck needs Victoria Hand, Kate, and Misery. Those are your required cards. Kate and Victoria are besties. They came in spotlights together. So if you have one, you probably have both. While Misery, hopefully you got if you were getting Kate, because Misery is amazing with Hood, and Hood is probably the best other Victoria hand card. If you don't have Nico, Nico can be Maria Hill. That does make Hood significantly worse though, because you are going to want you would really like an extra way to get rid of that Hood. And there's a point where Honifer created a list that ran like a full Clog package with Victoria Hand, literally largely so that it could use Viper to get rid of the Hood as well. Kahhori can be Moonstone or Anti-Venom. You don't lose a lot. I know that's another high series card, but that's what goes in this list. Sam can be Jeff or Mirage. It's nice and simple. Sam's just a lot of power, and that movable power is very good with Kahhori. Thanks, Cam. I wouldn't realize that. Rocket and Groot is can be Nocturne or Coulson. Coulson gives you more cards. Nocturne gives you another mover. And then Iron Patriot can here beat Mirage just fine. That has always been the replacement. So you have your card generators here. Your card generators are Hood, Kate, and Iron Patriot. Those three create cards for you. You would like to hit Hood in particular with Misery, but you're fine hitting Iron Patriot with Misery as well. There's in fact a play pattern we'll go over when we talk about the turn by turn for that. Hood's demons become 8s when you play them with Victoria Hand, which is absolutely incredible. Just even having multiple, and you can get up to 3 thanks to Frigga, thanks to Misery, up to 3 demons is really, really powerful and worth doing. Nico has numerous spells that are good. On the turn by turn, I will go over which spells you're looking for. But the big thing she offers is 2 ways to get rid of the Hood's negative. You really don't want a -3 in a location. You don't want to just play a green goblin on your side of the board, making that a 1/6 that makes a 1/6, turning it into a demon, or blowing it up to draw 2 cards. Either one of those is absolutely incredible and worth running Nico for alone. She has other value too, but those are 2 of the big ones. Kate gives you 2 extra cards for Victoria Hand. Acid doesn't do anything for Victoria Hand, but the other 3 cards do, and thus it's really good. Being able to play like a 1/5 with even a single Victoria Hand is great. Iron Patriot is incredible because having cheap cards like Victoria Hand is huge, and he gives you this amazingly high upside on a really, really cheap deal. I said Mirage could replace that, so could Valentina. Valentina in some ways is better than Mirage, but Iron Patriot is just really good. It's a cheap card if you can make it work for a ton of power, and you do have Rocket and Groot and Juggernaut in order to make it work. Sam is a 2/8. 2/8s are great. So is movable power with Kahhori. I played Kahhori and Thanos some earlier today, and sometimes the shield is like 4 or 5 power. I don't know. Movable 4 or 5 power seems good to me. Juggernaut is an end lane game stealer. I actually played KM twice, 3 times with this on stream the first night the card came out, and Juggernaut straight up beat me twice. The first time he beat with Juggernaut, I was like, oh, I didn't know he ran Juggernaut. The second time, I was like, there's no way he's got Juggernaut again. He did, and he rocked me. Did I talk about Victoria Hand? Okay, Victoria Hand is your buffer. You really would like to copy her with the next card we're going to talk about, which is Frigga, who can copy a demon, who can copy an Iron Patriot card, but is really trying to copy Victoria Hand. The second Victoria Hand will be buffed by the first Victoria Hand, which is really, really nice. So that second Victoria Hand is just a lot of power and ends up working really well. Rock and Groot is both movable power and a way to help you in that Iron Patriot lane. Shang-Chi is this deck doesn't get that tall. It plays enough power to win in almost every location, but it doesn't get super tall. Kahhori is a go wide card, right? Victoria Hand turns a lot of smaller things into mid-range threats. Well, an opponent that goes too tall, power must be controlled. You are generating cards here between the Hood, between Kate, and between Iron Patriot, which means Kahhori is very often going to be a 4/10, 4/11. 4/10, 4/11 is worth running, especially as it puts power all over the board. The one thing that annoyed me about Kahhori with this list when I gave it a little run was you are occasionally dropping way too much power on the Hood, which you would then want a Misery, which is obnoxious. And then Misery. Misery can hit Kahhori, but should not, generally speaking. It wants to hit the Hood. It wants to hit Iron Patriot. Those are the 2 main targets here. You could do worse than to hit a Juggernaut in certain situations. Plus 4/8 is really solid stats. All right. So this is one of the 3 good Kahhori homes, along with Thanos and the Agamotto list, which I will get back to you about. So, turn 1, you want Hood. Turn 2, you have Victoria Hand. Victoria Hand is your snap if you have Frigga. That's better than Iron Patriot, who can be a snap if you win, which is equal to Sam, which is better than Kate. One of the play patterns you can go with here, if you already have Iron Patriot and Misery in hand, is you go Hood on 1, you go whichever on 2. It has to be Sam or Victoria Hand. On turn 3, you go Demon and Iron Patriot in that Hood lane. On turn 4, you misery that pile. You end up with a 14 power lane because 6 plus 8 is 14. And is that correct? Yeah, 6 plus 8 is 14. Good. And then you have a 14 power lane and hopefully 2 demons and 2 cheap Iron Patriot cards, which is a real nice place to be. Um, from there, other options, Frigg on Victoria hand. You should have snapped on the Victoria at that point. You can generally Rocket and Groot. You can play Juggernaut if you need the Iron Patriot. Like if you get, oh my god, look, a 3-cost Goliath, and that'll win me the game. Then feel free to Juggernaut on the Iron Patriot. And then I just explained the Iron Patriot Demon Hood play. That is the Burrs play. Burrs is a top 10 player when he has time to play. He's actually busy studying for something right now, but he's a top 10 player when he has time to play, and that is his like main game plan for these. Turn 4, you can go 2+2. You can go Misery on that Hood pile, or you can play Kahhori. Reminder that this is the last turn to player and Patriot, and still get the benefit. Turn 5, if you haven't generated cards, do generate some. If not, like Misery Hood or Kahhori and some cheaper cards are all fine options. And then turn 6, you play all your generated cards on Juggernaut or Shang-Chi to try and win the game. Sometimes you're going to play all your generated cards and 1 or 2 extra copies of Victoria Hand. So the things you want to copy with Nico are Demon, Victoria Hand, and the Iron Patriot card. Those are your main goals. Nico, destroy or turn into a demon. You're trying to hit the Hood with that, the Iron Patriot, or one of Kate's arrows. You'll also turn Kate herself into a demon just fine. Hopefully this all makes sense to you. Really cool list. Props to Cam. Hi, Cam. Go play this list. You're going to have a really good time if you get Kahhori with it. You don't actually need Kahhori, though. It's just a really good list that sort of fell out of the meta. Do be wary. There's still a decent amount of Enchantress around, so don't just go cold dropping Victoria hands everywhere. Also, if you're worried about Red Guardian, do your best to play Victoria hand behind a Sam Wilson shield early on. Please check out the stream team if you're interested in some gameplay for these lists. Our friend, the King of Canada, will be streaming at about 12 p.m. Eastern. Do watch our friend. He's going to kick some butt with these lists. Our last list of the day is Crazy Clog. Clog is around, and I'm not sure how I feel about Clog being around because there's a decent amount of Killmonger out there. A lot of the Scream decks right now are running Killmonger, and Killmonger just sort of rolls this. But like I took a lot of cubes from versions of this list earlier today when I was giving that Killmonger deck, the Uncle Ben Killmonger Scream deck some run, and I kicked its butts. However, this one's still got a crazy high win rate, so go check it out. If you don't have Killmonger, this can beat anything. It's not a big cube rate deck, but it is a big win rate deck. The creator of this list is Crazy, former #1 player, twitch.tv/crazy_IM. This deck needs Cannibal and Kate Bishop. Grandmaster can be Sam or Daredevil. Misery can be Dr. Octopus, and Sage can be Wolfsbane. So the Hood has one real use here. It's to clog opponents. You really want to be able to Viper that over. That is your general real goal. If you can Grandmaster it first, so much the better. You could also, sometimes you're going to get stuck with it, and that's what Misery is for. The card you want to play on Hood more than anything before miserying is you would very, very, very much like to play Debris directly on top of your Hood, and then you can misery. You've got 2 rocks at each location, and you've got 2 demons, which seems like a really, really powerful play, right? Kitty allows you to get in and out of a lane so you don't end up clogging yourself. One of the problems Clog can have is that you could end up clogging yourself, and Kitty helps you protect from that. Get to your Titania back on the cheap, especially if you don't see the demons. Titania is not a card you play early. It's a card you play, generally speaking, around turn 4 or turn 5 with a card like Viper or Green Goblin to clog a location. That clogged location can be unclogged and you can auto-win it by just playing a simple Kitty or Demon there. All of a sudden, they lose 5 power, you gain 5 power. That's a 10 power swing. Plus 6, 16 power. That's enough to win most locations. Grandmaster is quite nice with Hood. Grandmaster's real use here, however, is to hit that Debris. Being able to hit that Debris or hit that Viper, both are very, very powerful plays and plays to keep in mind. For example, if you play Debris in the left lane, you can then play Viper on the right and then Grandmaster that over as a way to get 2 rocks into that location and leave you with none. Kate Bishop is here because Acid Hour is a card largely. That's it. Acid Arrow is too good not to run in this type of list. Since White Widow was nerfed, we really do want Acid Arrow for this style of deck. Green Goblin is the simplest and cheapest control card that you have access to, and so we run him as just a nice way to clog. Works extremely well with Titania. If you don't have priority, you play Titania first, Green Goblin second. Goblin floats on over. If they didn't fill that location, Titania's going to hop over and fill it for him. Sage is just a nice power spike at the end of the game. You Don't always play her, but when you can, she's very, very good. Also, don't be afraid to Grandmaster her. Not really the goal of the deck, but fine. Limbo is good. Limbo gives you turns to make Clog happen. Nice and simple. Uh, li- Magic is kind of why there's a limit on the upside for cube rate, because A, Magic can get turned off, which can cost you cubes, and B, once Magic, like once they're clogged, they have enough time to realize they're screwed and run, largely because Magic gives them that time. So it's worth knowing. We've talked about Debris several times. We talked about Viper. Misery again is here largely for the hood, and I guess you could play with Viper sometimes too, and Debris. So keep those in mind. And then at the end of the game, when you're trying to like win, you've got 2 lanes clogged. Cannonball says, "I win whatever lane I want. Thank you. Have a beautiful day." 69% in 26 games for crazy for this list. Turn 1, you want Hood over Kitty. Turn 2, you want Kate over a 1-drop. You can Grandmaster the Hood, but you don't have to. Turn 3, you want Magic, generally speaking, Debris or Goblin, and you snap as soon as you realize you can clog. If they're going to play a lot of cards, you can snap fairly early here. Turn 4, Goblin or Viper and Titania. You can also play Misery on Debris and Hood. Turn 5 is your last Magic, and you drop that in a 2-drop as possible, or drop that and like an acid arrow is totally fine. And then turn 6, you want to win with Cannonball, or you can do Sage, Kitty, and Demons to win. Any of that works because they shouldn't have a lot of room to put a lot of power up. Please do remember as you play this list, anything that it says to do on turn 6 can be done on turn 7, and then anything you do on turn 4, you can also do on turn 6. Cool. Props to Crazy. Clog is the most obnoxious deck in the game, but it is super effective, so go give it some run. Question of the day, and we're just going to simply go, what are the Snap Pack thoughts? First, we know it's releasing April 29th, which means things went well when they tested. They were happy with things went well when they tested, and they were happy with the reception. They didn't feel like they had to rework everything because the entire community freaked out, which are both really nice. We do know it's coming at the end of the month. This is Lauren Whatevs wrote an article on Marvel Snap Zone, which you should 100% go check out. Just go to Marvel Snap Zone and look for Lauren Whatevs' article on this. She did a bunch of estimated values on what we could expect things to cost, and the lowest we could expect them to cost is what they cost. She had like a range of values, right? Like things could cost from this to this, and she did the lowest expected value. And when she did that math, the lowest expected value was what they actually did. But it's even better than that because what ended up happening is Lauren Whatevs assumed the extra value in each pack to be 4%. They've said that they aimed for 10% extra value. So when you buy a snap pack, you're getting the card, right? In addition to getting that card, you're also getting 2 other things. The low end boosters, the high end, an extra card that you could also obtain from that pack. They're aiming for the average of that to be 10%. Lauren assumed that would be 4%, which is obviously a lot lower. So we are getting better than the best value she thought was possible when she started breaking down the system. For this month's plans, there is still excuse me. For this month's plans, if you want to get a card, you should use tokens if you only need 1 card from spotlights. If you want 2 cards, right? If you want 2 cards, then use keys. Keys are better for people who need 2 cards. If you want Aranya and Madam Web, you can wait to update and use keys on the Hydra Stomper day. So at the end of the month, spotlights are going away forever, and that's Hydra Stomper week. They're going to give you 2 days to update if you want to use the last of your spotlight keys. You don't want to do that if the only card you want is Hydra Stomper. But Hydra Stomper is data mined too. We don't know for sure, but is data mined to come out with Aranya and Madam Web. So if you want to play a move deck, you should get Aranya Madam Web. Save your keys at the end of the month. Just don't update the game. When the weekly reset happens, use your keys on Aranya, Madam Web, and Hydra Stomper, and then you can re-update your game. We're going to do a full guide coming soon. If you're wondering what happens to your keys, anything that was a key becomes 3,000 tokens. That is a better conversion rate than what keys are right now. I'm going to tell you straight up, I mean this very seriously. Everything about this system is an absolute home run. I don't care if you call me a shill. I've shit on Second Dinner so much that you should check the reviews to my podcast. People are like, you're so negative sometimes. Yeah, sometimes when I feel like there's time to be negative, I'm going to be negative. I'm going to be as honest with my reactions as I can. This feels like beyond an absolute home run. We will do a full breakdown about how to optimize the system depending on what your goal is coming soon. But the important thing to know for right now is it seems like it will be possible. Like if they release more cards and a bunch of extra Series 4 cards, it's going to be hard to be complete without spending. But if you want to just like be complete by getting every Series 5 card every week, if you optimize, what was that? That was fun. Sorry about that. If you optimize, it should be not only cool, that was so weird. All right. If you optimize, it should be entirely possible with both the season pass and the gold pass. The season pass will get you like 4 out of every 5 cards, but if you also have the gold pass, you should be able to get absolutely every card. Every Series 5 card. And then even some of the Series 4 cards. Plus, we know that like Sanctum should come back and still have a way to get unknown cards, which should also really help us. This should be doable. This should be an affordable game, assuming that you're willing to deal with it as a subscription model. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks. We got to say thank you to a bunch of our friends, starting with Patreon of the Month, Fat Dick, our friend Abigail Gleason, my former Alliance leader, Burnout, hi Burnout, Irregardless, it is a word, always kind, LAB, the Graphite Fan Inc., I am Frostman, you sure are, Jota Navarrete, what's up, Jota, Thinking Poker of the Thinking Poker podcast, Primed Ryan of Prime Mind app, check it out, Ryan Burke, hey Berkey. Ryan Wood. Ryan Wood is Ryan Wood _ YT. Great YouTube channel. The King of Questions, Caretaker The Rude Ass Koire. Kazushi, who agreed with me on stream that Matt sounds like Gunny. Thank you. Archangel 3K, the 4th K in a row. Black Dahlia, another one of our wonderful Alliance leaders. Pyrofrost and Goatseeker, 2 more Alliance leaders. Holy crap. What's up, Goatsy? Hollowed. How you doing, Hollowed? Sorry, we got to get back to that conversation. We're having a great AEW conversation, then I got busy. Only Fox. What's up, Foxy? Synth. Hello, Synth. Absolute Shannon. How you doing? Nightmare. Dirty Casual. Mr. Kerfuffle. Hey, Kerfuff. Thanks for hanging earlier. Cables. Still at home. What's up, my friend? Ginger Prime. What's up, Ginge? Go. What's up, Philly? Turns out we are doing that extra video the way we talked about. Haplo. What's happening? Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extras V and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Mr. Slush Death, I saw you beat Husky earlier, Kinger Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsey Hoda, Luna Chris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, thanks for hanging, Forbin, Bricks, 2 Click, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, Dave J. Wingfield, Boo, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Mr. Cricksterry, and Matt V. Real name town, Ren Wrench, does not know who Ren is. Corwin, Drunk You, and Jimmy Q. Cube Down, Yes Stout, 8th, Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, BG. What's up, BG? Haven't seen you around. Hopefully you're doing well. Quid Pro Joe. Hey, Joe. Also haven't heard from you. Shoot me a message. Snap Decisions, Joe. Snap Decisions podcast. I got to come on soon. We'll set that up. Mod Supreme Models. Green Goblin, my favorite Osborne. Unibot. Flan 56. What's up, Flan? The Fuzzy Lot. Spectrumix. Hoot. Ocularis. What's up, Acu? Matt H, the only one we need. DJ, Mikey Hijinks, no frickin' flex. Nick, the Greek Geek. What's up, Nicky? Zodrex, the King of Canada. Den, Man, Falcon. Fa, Thor Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties, the Great Lord as the Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T. The T stands for second video tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for more Snap Take. Peace.